now we can go ahead and move on to This Week in Loot Boxes, a segment on the show that I thought would go the way of the Steam Link, but it just keeps rearing its head, and that's a good thing, because I am a firm believer that if we stop talking about this topic, we stop talking about how much we don't like it, it's bound to repeat itself, and we definitely don't want that. Of course, this segment came into existence due to the efforts of EA when they launched the Star Wars Battlefront 2, and like all freaking hell broke loose. so since then,
I mean, they were talking about it on Fox.
Fox and Friends was talking about
Star Wars.
Game.
You know how knowledgeable they are about anything.
About anything, yeah. So that was special. But yeah, so this week we have a new story for you guys. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, so what this is, and this has been going on across Europe, these gambling commissions are checking into doing loot box studies. Yep. And the UK, Great Britain's gambling commission, actually, they did not call loot boxes gambling or game. It was widely reported that they did. Mm-hmm. They had to release they released a statement saying, no, that is not what we said. We said loot boxes themselves are not gambling. What they did mention was gambling is the same, like the CS:GO skin gambling, and the skin, those lotteries. They did say that was gambling. They did a survey of players ages 11 to 16 to determine their behavior around games and games that included loot boxes. Okay. And so that's all they did regarding the loot boxes. They stopped short of saying it's gambling, or even that it's a gateway or addictive component that can lead to gambling. Right. So right now, as it stands, the UK, I'm guessing they need further work, further study. But as it stands now, loot boxes, that particular mechanic, they don't feel is gambling or a gateway to gambling. What they did mention is that skin gambling is and could be considered illegal. Yeah. And so that's where they're standing on that. They're less strict as their Dutch or Belgian friends, who concluded that indeed these loot box mechanics, and we're talking about the same type of loot boxes you see in Overwatch or CS:GO or Battlefront 2 or the Ultimate Team cards, they consider that gambling, and they've outlawed it. We've seen several publishers, the most recent Square Enix, take down games in Belgium and the Netherlands because of these rulings. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that the loot box study is going to continue, because this is an ongoing issue, across the globe, essentially. Mm-hmm. And gaming has become so mainstream that they're going to be continued studies and reports to come out of this until something is until it's reeled in, because it's been reeled in to a certain degree in some parts of the world, but man, ever since it was introduced and ever since everybody jumped on the bandwagon, it has just been, running rampant. And you'll have games just not sell if they have insidious microtransactions or any type of like crazy monetization schemes. Mm-hmm. This is like one of the first questions that are asked of developers when they announce a new game. With everything that was going on with EA, they had to come out and blatantly say like, hey, Anthem is not gonna have microtransactions. At least at the start, because they said the same thing about Battlefield 5, and that's the thing. Even though they say it, they go back on their word. So it's like, where are we going with this? There definitely needs to be some kind of regulation. I don't think that the gaming industry is going to regulate itself. Mm-hmm. I think that in order for us to get some major change, the government may have to come in and put their foot down. Right. And it's super unfortunate. I wish the gaming industry would regulate themselves and kind of just like reel back on this way of reoccurring monetization. But when it blew up, it blew the cap off of freaking how much money they can potentially make off of one title. Yeah, I mean, Ubisoft was it? Yeah, Ubisoft reported like $2.3 billion in profits off of loot boxes alone. I mean, it is a major moneymaker, and that's what these companies are after. They care more about their bottom line than anything else. The people actually making the games for us, the developers, they enjoy the art and they enjoy putting out a product. But the publishers, the people that's invested in those people, they care about the bottom line. They can give a rat's ass whether we enjoy the game or not, as long as we're giving them money associated with the game.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, and it is going to change anytime soon. You know, we have been going through this fight with just ways that these companies are monetizing the player base, for quite some time. Last gen, it was like the on disc DLC debacle that we had to deal with.
That was with Street Fighter, wasn't it?
Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I believe, was one of the main titles. I mean, but it had been seen in other places as well.
Other places too, yeah. But the Street Fighter one was huge.
Because, that was huge
because of Street Fighter. So that made a lot of news.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you have all of these AAA games implementing monetization strategies, ripped straight from mobile games. And so you pay the premium price, you pay $60, which isn't even guaranteed to get you everything in the game anymore.
Games don't cost $60. The $60 games don't cost $60.
Yeah, that's the entry fee. That's the entry fee right there. That's like you waiting in line. And then you pay $60 to get in the club, and then when you go in, you got to spend more money to have fun.
Because I would. The evidence is this: when you look at a game that comes out in September, I'm talking about Spider-Man, just because I'm salty and I'm resetting my PlayStation. So it's on my mind. A game that comes out in September, it doesn't take them 2 months to have 2 DLCs. In October, it came out with DLC, and again this month it's coming out with DLC. That means that content had already been developed and it was pretty much ready to go. And could easily be included with the $60 game, but again, they wanted to, they want to stretch it out and they want to, get more money out of you. So they sent it out as DLC, and that's just the way the gaming goes. But in today's world, games are costing $100 easy.
Yeah, easily.
$89-$90 for $99. And I've seen, I think it was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It had a digital version that was $130.
It's like what?
What? Yeah, exactly. What are you talking about? That's crazy talk.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, man. I got that $60 version. I played through the main quest line, and I am finito. I am done with that game. I'm not buying no season pass. I'm not buying I didn't buy any of those like
the
speed up
packs.
The loot packs or like the extra experience packs. I was like, nope. I'm going through it raw, baby. And and because I'm just like, man, like I am accustomed. I'm not accustomed to this way of playing games where you have to pay extra just to play the game as you normally would. This is a very weird time in gaming for me.
And the thing is it's not. These companies are taking they're getting their direction from other industries, because when you step out and you look at the cell phone industry, they nickel and dime. You buy a cell phone, then you got to buy the case, and you got to buy charging cables, you got to buy this, you got to buy that, and it's everywhere. When you buy TVs now, you got to buy cable, you got to buy stuff that was normally included, and it's just everywhere is nickel and dime, and the gaming industry is just the latest to jump onto that bandwagon.
Yeah, and I would probably say that our generation. I saw a report that our generation is probably one of the most wealthiest generations in a very long time, and so people just have that money and they spending it. A lot of these mobile games, they're relying on a very small percentage of the player base, which are the whales, which are just giving them this massive amounts of money
because they have the money to spend. They're like they're empty nesters. They live on their own. They're making a lot of money. They don't have children. They don't have like. Back in the olden days when people used to go wild, people don't go out like they used to.
No, definitely not. Man, Halloween, we had 2 kids show up on Halloween, and we live on like a city street.
You're lucky.
How many did you get?
People be busting their kids over our neighborhood. Man. I don't know what goes on.
Well, we live really close to the mall, and so like people actually like just go trick or treating in the mall. For the most part, but Nobody was walking outside, man.
We had kids from 5 p.m. to 9 at night.
Oh man.
At 9 at night, I got on the doorbell. I was like, "Yep, go home. We are closed.
We closed.
No more candy. Get out of here."
Yeah, dude. But it's crazy. It's just crazy how gaming has changed, and that's why we have sections like this where we can talk about it. Right. And so we want to know what you guys think about this as well. So let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Your thoughts on loot boxes. Your thoughts on this story involving the UK and their loot box study. And if you want to read more about this story or any of the stories we've been talking about, like I said earlier, you can check our show notes, which will be listed on our Facebook page. You can go to Facebook and type in AWGNS or a weekly gaming news show into the search bar, and you can find us there. Follow us, and you can keep track of some of the things that we're up to. We also live stream games on there from time to time, so you can keep up with us that way as well. Yeah. So that was This Week in Loot Boxes, brought to you by the UK. And we're going to go ahead and move on to our next and final segment of the show, which is our long form discussion. And we're going to be talking about microtransactions once again, because like I keep saying, it is a very important part of current gaming. So we're going to talk about that. But before I do want to give a quick notice to you guys. A weekly gaming news show is now partnered with the Cookout PoC, which is a group of people of color that come together and try to enhance and enrich each other. And if you want more information on that, I'll have a link down in the description below. It's the Cookout PoC. We are now partnered with them. They've been pretty good to us, showing us a lot of love, and we actually get some visitation from them from time to time. So if you want more information on that, it'll be down in the description. I also want to talk about our merch store, which is now open for you guys. So if you want to support a weekly gaming news show and look good in the process, you can do so by clicking the link. I'll have it in the description. We have t-shirts with our logos on it, as well as coffee mugs, and there'll be more things. If you guys want more products, let us know what kind of stuff you guys would want, and we can make that happen for you. So just wanted to put that out there. I don't want to harp on it too much, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into the long form discussion. Microtransaction.
Well, this is a little bit different. So it's not the microtransactions, are they good or bad or anything like that. So I ran into
it's a different conversation around microtransactions. I like
it's a different take on microtransactions. So I ran into a couple of stories. One of them is actually by Faison Love from Scrubs, when he was on Scrubs. And then the other one is from 2 Milli. So basically, both of them are targeting Fortnite, and they're saying, "Hey, look, you just ripped off our creations and put it in your game, and you're monetizing, and you're not giving us credit nor a kickback." And it's interesting because if you look at Fortnite, you look at a game like Destiny, and you look at many of these other games, the emoticons, the emotes that they get in there and they sell, they are 90% of them are from pop culture, from the floss dance, the backpack kid that did the floss dance, to a couple. There's Beyonce dances. There's the Drake. What's that stupid song where he did that ignorant dance?
I don't remember.
The one where he's snapping and going down to his knees.
I don't remember the name of the song.
A lot of those things are from pop culture references, and they use them and they monetize them, and they don't give credit. They don't give money to the people that are actually creating this stuff. And 2 Milli is thinking about suing Epic Games. The problem is current, at least American copyright laws, you can't copyright a dance move. You can't copyright that. So it's just open season. And the problem I have is when these game makers, if you use a song, if you use a single asset, maybe you just use a facial expression for their game, they're quick to send out decent cease and desist letter. But now they are currently profiting off of other people, off of the back of other people. I mean, what do you think about that? And
Well, I mean, my thoughts is pretty much aligns the same with you. I mean, there's no way for them to actually copyright the dance moves, but I feel like it's super scummy to not, you know, give them any kind of credit for it.
Right.
In addition to, you know, giving them, you know, actual you know, money for it. You know, some of the most popular, you know, emotes in Fortnite that you see kids dance, you see kids doing these dances all over the place now.
Yeah, you see them. You see professional players. I mean, you've seen it in end zone dances in football. You see it after people score goals in soccer games.
Right.
You see all of this stuff, and it's not. You know, everybody says, "Oh, this is from Fortnite," but
it's like, nah, bro.
It's actually not from Fortnite. It's from somewhere else. Yeah, and Fortnite is just borrowing it.
Yeah, the kids know it from Fortnite, but these dances have been around for years. You know, especially the one from Scrubs, which is like one of the default emotes in Fortnite.
Right.
I don't know, man. You would think that a company as rich as Epic Games would at least give credit where credit is due, but the thing is, they'll actually name the dances like different than their original names in the game, and then like they'll have like music playing in the background, but the music doesn't represent the actual song that that the dance is associated with.
Right.
So they're essentially just, you know, ripping it off and trying to, you know, play it off as their own thing. And you know, I think Fortnite is definitely the biggest.
No, for them to be said the biggest offender, no, they're the most popular offender.
Okay,
but everybody does it.
That's what I mean, because they're the most popular offender.
Right, everybody does it.
Yeah.
When you look at all, I mean, and the thing is, if you look at across all of these games, from Fortnite to Destiny to what's the highest, to Paladins to Rainbow Six Siege, to all of these games, they all use the same variations of the same dances. True. All of them have a version of the floss dance. All of them have a version of that Drake dance. All of them have a version of Faison Love's Scrubs dance.
Yeah.
They just call it something different, and they, you know, some of them may add a little twist to it or not, but the base dance, when you look at it, you know where it's from.
Right.
And none of these companies are giving credit. None of them are doing kickbacks. None of them are definitely not licensing it.
No.
And in the article regarding I think the rapper is 2 Milli, he's looking to sue. They went out, and I think it's you're a gamer. They went out and talked to a business lawyer, a legal business lawyer, and the lawyer's like, yeah, there's really nothing they can do because there's no precedence, and the Copyright Office cannot accept or do not accept applications for dance.
Yeah.
So it's just open season.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because you know his dance is actually it's his rap name is the Millie Rock.
Right, the Millie Rock. Yep.
And you know they of course they call it something else in Fortnite, and they're just not giving props where props are due.
Right.
And it's like, you know, as soon as a new dance or a new, you know, craze comes out, it'll be in the next season of Fortnite. Exactly. They're adding them things like.
They add them instantly. Yeah, and it's crazy the way they do it, how they do it, and the fact, like I said, it's hypocritical.
Yeah.
Because if somebody took a gun off of Fortnite and put it on their video, they are doing takedowns, they are doing DMCA capture, you know, what do you call it? Monetization, demonetizing it. They're doing all of that, but yet their core business is scouring pop culture, sticking it in the game and selling it.
Yeah, because you can buy the emotes. The emotes cost money. either with the season pass, or you know, just by getting them in random loot boxes. You're paying money for, you know, something that the developers didn't necessarily create. They didn't create those dances.
Right, exactly.
I think it's unfortunate, and I think that in order for them to see any kind of kickback, you know, the law is going to have to change.
Right, exactly.
It's just how likely is that to happen?
At this point, there's no reason that nobody's interested in doing it, right?
Right.
At least nobody that's at the top. And the way the game makers are using it, I guarantee you, they have the money. They have the money to lobby to prevent any type of law like this from going on the books.
Yeah. And it just sucks because for a lot of people, it just goes to show how much of, like, you know, pop culture and especially hip hop culture is just kind of just being appropriated by other people. It just plays into that conversation even more.
Exactly.
You know, we have it everywhere, but now it's being appropriated in video games as well. And, you know, people aren't receiving the credit where credit is due. You know, the Millie Rock, you know, came out, you know, in the music video, and, you know, that's his dance. It's his name, right? And now it's being, you know, used in Fortnite, and you got, you know, 5 and 12-year-olds Millie rocking everywhere and say, "Oh, this is the Fortnite dance." It's like, no, that's not the Fortnite dance.
They have no idea where it came from. Exactly,
no idea. Yeah, and I think that's bad as far as, like, you know, just preserving the cultural, you know, preserving, you know, hip hop culture. It's bad.
Exactly.
Culture integrity. There we go. It's bad because it's not being preserved in a way that represents, you know, where it came from.
Right. And I've seen this with my own eyes where, like, what was it? It was watching TV and they're like, "Oh, that's the Fortnite dance." And the thing is, what they were watching was the original, which predated Fortnite.
Right.
I forgot exactly what it was, but I'm like, no, Fortnite copied this because this is like 10 years old. Fortnite just came out like 2 years ago. So, but
man, I mean, I've seen so many newscasters try to Millie Rock and all this crap and do the floss dance just, you know, while they're talking about Fortnite.
Yep.
And it's definitely appropriation.
Definitely, yeah, and it's blatant, and it's unrelenting, and you know, they don't care.
No, they don't,
because their whole point is, what you gonna do about it is the point.
Yeah.
And I quite honestly, I would love to see Millie Rock sue, just to put a little pressure on it and just to build a precedence, because to sue, and if he loses, you can say, "Hey, look, this is what's happening. This is my thing. I created this. Nobody did this before me, and they taking it and they're profiting.
They're profiting off of it.
And we need to do something about that." I think they do need to do. I think something needs to be done, because the same way these game makers, the same way these publishers don't allow you to take their content and repurpose it for profit, they shouldn't be able to do that to anybody else.
Yeah, we talked about, you know, months ago how PUBG Corp, they wanted to sue. They're suing all kinds of copycats
in China,
in China for, you know, essentially stealing their idea of the, you know, realistic looking
battle
royale. It's like, but I don't know. It's really weird. And with the continued rise of popularity with Fortnite, you would think that, you know, they would, you know, kick back some of these things that they're, you know, taking from people, and just, you know, just give them props. Give them props. Like, use the actual source material. Don't rename the names. Don't change the music. If you want to license it, license it. You know, right. I don't feel like anybody would be opposed to having their likeness, you know, put into a game. A lot of people
just gotta pay for it.
Yeah, just gotta pay for it.
Because, I mean, if you look at somebody like Millie Rock, I mean, we know Millie Rock, but he's not a mainstream rapper. But if they put his dance in the game and they noted it as the Millie Rock, that would get him more exposure to a large, I mean, when we say 8 million people concurrently playing Fortnite, that gets him exposure to a large pool of people. And even if only a small percentage of that 8 million, it's still a ton.
Still a ton,
more than what he may have had. And
so they're using his creation in their game, and he's not seeing anything from it. He's not getting any kind of exposure. He's not getting paid in any capacity. It sucks.
He's not getting anything. He's just seeing his. And the funny thing is, the Millie Rock is one of the most popular emotes.
Yeah,
it's like you said, it's the thing you see kids doing all the time, because it's one of the most popular things in the game.
It's crazy, man. There definitely needs to be some kind of change, because, you know, just like you said, if someone were to blatantly, copy something from Fortnite, it'll be taken down immediately.
DMCA takedown. Exactly. So
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'm going to keep my eye on this, see where this goes, and if there's more information, if there are updates, if this actually does go to court, we'll definitely cover it.
Definitely.
It's definitely interesting, and like I said, I've always, me personally, I lean towards the side of the content creator because it takes time. 2 Milli didn't just wake up and just know that dance. It took him some time to put the moves that get that choreographed.
Yeah.
So for somebody to take his hard
and then
work
he built a song around it as well,
right, for them to take his hard work and basically trivialize it, and they profited off of him much more than he has. I would be upset, and I consider it, even when you look at when Nintendo's doing that IP takedowns, and we look at these game companies going after people for using their IPs. I understand you put money, you put time, you put that investment in it, and you want to reap the benefits. And they should treat other people in other creative arenas the same way.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. But yeah, we want to know what you guys think about this, because this is a very different take on the microtransaction discussion. Because it's normally like, oh, is this good or is this bad? Is this insidious, or is this something that we can live with? But when you have companies like blatantly stealing content from other people and making money off of it, and not even giving them the credit that they deserve, is that a problem? Me personally, I think it is.
I agree. I think it's a problem as well.
Yeah, we need to know what you guys think down in the comment section if you're watching this on YouTube. So hit us up. Let us know what your thoughts are on this topic or any of the topics that we talked about today. And of course, all of our sources are listed in our Facebook show notes, so you can definitely check that out as well.